All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me grab this link real quick. All right. Sweet. What's up? I got that posted up, and we're about 30 seconds here until the bell. I did the full Sunday stock talk there in Discord, kind of giving the thoughts and ideas for this upcoming week. At the moment, I think that's still kind of the plan here. So we're going to take this nice and slow and easy so far this morning. We don't have any kind of, wow, that's loud. We don't have any kind of red impact news folder or anything like that today. So just going to let the market open up here and see if we can push down into 29,085. That's going to be the big thing here for the NASDAQ. In 29,085s to the downside. The Dow did trade that 53,234s there in pre-market session. So far rejecting that level in the S&Ps. In this zone here for the NASDAQ, which makes sense if we're going to get this pushed down. Gold is on an absolute tear to the upside, up 54 points again today. Just wild. Wild movement in there. The Dow holding strong. Dow pushing to new overnight highs there. Yeah, nice rally in there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to come down and grab this 234s in regular hours trading because that would be nice. We'd be up about 200 points or so off that level now. There's room in here to 53,675s. I don't love the idea that we kind of front ran that so far. But I'm also not going to be too concerned by that if we can get NASDAQ to go ahead and push down and grab those 29,085s. There's no entry here at the moment in the Dow, though. That's just a straight ripper to the upside. Coming out of the gate strong so far, about 165-point range. Straight to the upside in there. NASDAQ there so far trading 29,085s. We tested 29,083s there. Dow kind of coming back down now a little bit. Tesla pushing through a little further than I'd like. We should be able to see a bit of a NASDAQ pop from here. How far that goes is a different question, but probably somewhere back up here towards 150 on an initial push. And then realistically, if we can hold that, then we might have set the low potentially for the day, depending on how that finally works. Yeah, 29,085 is finally trading here. I don't know that I expected it within like 5 minutes on a Monday morning type of situation, though. That I don't know was necessarily part of the plan, but it is here nonetheless. New lows there for S&Ps. A pullback there for the Dow. Again, if you like the idea from here, I think you can be kind of swing long a little bit from down in this area with the idea that NASDAQ essentially has like 400 points worth of room. You know, we were almost at 482.50s in the overnight session last night. I think we traded like 480.50s was the high on that move. So like essentially 400 points from down here. The Russell's close to a level down below. I would kind of expect that to potentially get tagged. But this was the key. This was the spot for NASDAQ here. We just traded up into 145s there. I was kind of hoping that we would see, my plan was to long Tesla from like 358, 359 area when NASDAQ did this, but it's not holding. The things I see holding at the moment are Google, Meta a little bit, not great. It's interesting. Let's see what the Russell wants to do here. Again, you could have swing longs from here. If you want something from a intraday basis, I mean, you could look at like the QQQ and be like, yeah, we can go back up to like 716s. I don't even know what those are going for at the moment, but 29,085s finally tested there. Let's just see what it looks like here. Russell testing the level there now. NASDAQ still didn't quite get, or S&P still didn't quite get overnight lows. 069's there so far. The high at 145. I don't see the individual name that I want, so can try some longs from here. 085s. This is an aggressive first thing Monday morning entry. Those lows are 66s, so give it about 25 points. I would love to have something other than just NASDAQ for it from an individual name standpoint, but I don't see what that is at the moment. And it might come down and take us out rather quickly here. The Dow doesn't look too bad. I traded 51s there, I missed that. Well, they're good for this to potentially become a low here. We just need to get back up through 29,085s now. So I would prefer something else, but I don't see it. Stops now are about 40 points. See if this 2-minute can finish out. I like this area for longs. 29,085s finally getting traded here. We did get a little bit of a shimmy kind of down here into this area just now. The Dow is the strongest market on the day here, up 0.15%, while NASDAQ is down 1.07%. And Russell getting a little bit of love there as well. Coming off 3008s. I guess a failure of this level would be rather interesting, kind of as a first move idea on the week. I don't know that I would see that coming. Maybe. Traded 91s now on that bar. No hold so far. That's actually, honestly, really surprising. That first initial attempt that pushed us up 145s would give us about 60 points or so. And we've immediately erased that and come back down 13 minutes in on a Monday morning. Interesting. My idea of having a relative strength name, I don't see. Dump it. Did you flip short? Did on your evals, nice. Yeah, there's nothing I can do with this at the moment. Russell's kind of trying to hold here slightly. NASDAQ now 100 points through that level. What do I think of 76, 46, 75s? Yeah, I've got that. I've got that down below. It looks like where we're pushing to, which honestly isn't that far away. The thing is, I don't know what to do with this Dow move. Like I'm really liking the strength that's in this Dow here. But I just don't know how to play it is the problem. Like, is that the only pullback it gets to 390s and then we just rip up from here? Like I see the strength in there, but meanwhile NASDAQ just continues to get sent. Honestly, I didn't really look to see what was below here. Yeah, 28.010s. What, 900 points basically? I don't know that that's happening, but NASDAQ is down 400 on the day. Russell doesn't look too bad. Dow's holding. It makes his NASDAQ interesting though. And come back. If we get back up through 29.085s, then I'm interested in longs. Otherwise, first test of that area would be open for new shorts. Part of me just wants to play the full-on contrarian type of approach today and see if we can't make a move back up to like 716s. The 710s, which is basically high a day. They're like 20 cents now. We need some type of divergence. We need some type of thing. There is a level in here, 703.26s for the Qs. Which is essentially where we're at now, just slightly under that 29.085s. Nice 5-minute reversal bar there in the S&Ps. Google doesn't look too bad there from a 5 minute. Weekly's not terrible either. You can look at some Google here. If you think Nasdaq's going to bottom sometime somewhere down here, which it's either somewhere in this area, we've got a zone between the QQQ and then the Nasdaq, obviously with 29085s, which, to be fair, I thought that would have held this morning, and it looked really clean when it tested it by like a 1.5 or whatever it was. And then coming back down and getting smoked through it, not the greatest, but there is that level in the QQQ we're sitting on. Google is, I mean, at the moment, the strongest thing I see on the board from an individual perspective. And this is the way I would prefer to play this, although I would prefer it if Nasdaq was up about 100 points higher from here and we didn't get that push through. But if you have the risk for this, I think it's fine. The stop's about $2, 347.50s, 345.50 should keep you in this. Targets to the upside, essentially like 355s, 356s. There's really nothing up here for a while. Whether that's going to be the case here and Google comes out strong and swinging first thing Monday and keeps that move is the question, but I do like it. The 350 calls for today, 0-day expiration, are like 65 cents. They're not terrible. It has that look to it. I just don't know if the market's quite done yet. That's my biggest piece. I put them in an order window just to see. Russell making new lows there. I also don't really, I mean, we're 22 minutes into the week. I don't really want to come out swinging super hard. And that Russell giving it up. I'm okay for a couple swings, but if Nasdaq's going to keep dropping, then I don't really know that we continue to stay on offense at that point. You know what I mean? Like, Nasdaq making new lows there. S&P's holding fairly well. The Dow looks like it wants to go get that upper level there, that 675s. Nasdaq trying to get a little bit of love there and maybe turn green on this current 5-minute bar. S&Ps look like they want to get a little bit of a pop. That's a heck of a bottoming tail so far in the Russell. NASDAQ gets that little bit of rally and Google comes back off those lows, which is kind of annoying. This might give us the rally back up into 29,085s here. I kind of don't mind the Russell look, but it's just a wide stop. Unless you keep it under like 307s. I want us to rally back to 29,085s because from there, there's potentially things we can do. The idea of a long from here to 29,085s obviously is interesting, but we're not technically like in the greatest of positions to say that. I think something like a Google long is probably better from that regard. This still looks really solid here. These contracts did just drop to like 45 cents and then back up here now. Dow looking like it wants to continue to make this push here. The big thing at the moment is whether NASDAQ is going to hold here or not. I suppose we could see a little pullback maybe towards like 980s and then see if that wants to pop from there. Or it might have just done it just now and a little push down to 29,002s. Google looks good. I wouldn't blame you for having some of that on. I'm going to let NASDAQ try and get back to 29,085s here. Google new highs there. I can't trust this Russell NASDAQ. Just the indices look is so different across the board. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. So anybody see anything else that's strong? I suppose we could look at weak names. Something like AMD here. Actually, that's a fairly weak name. That doesn't seem to really impact Google though. Google getting that push higher here. Apple trying to reverse that 2-day move to the downside it had off 320.27s. Dow's actually about to go get new highs there. I'm not shorting the divergence. No, not interested in that. I think that still wants higher. This would be that 29,080 area here for NASDAQ come back down. I guess Dow is technically getting sold there off that. Russell new lows. Traded what, 72 so far on this low now? Russell made new lows there. Google coming right back, so I don't have a ton of FOMO in that. I think we really just have to wait for 29085s. Like, again, the idea that we can get up there is on the table. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's a long from here to there. If I was going to play that with anything, it probably would have been Google here, but that doesn't seem like it actually wants to do it at the moment. It has a really good look to it. I think market's a little bit of a problem for that at the moment, but if we push up through here like these 35s or whatever up here that we did, kind of erase this 15-minute bar, leave a little bottoming tail for it, then I think we can push back up to 29085s and then look to make a decision from there. I'm a little bit, and upset's not really the right word. I'm just a little bit surprised at Tesla here, down 2.5%. We're essentially all over the place. Like, let's let's just leave it at that. Dow's up decent on the day. NASDAQ down 1.4%, 420 points basically here on the day. The Russell flirting with a level, maybe going to try and break it. It's not great anywhere. I still don't mind my idea of Qs and just playing for the fences essentially on a complete reversal today, but I don't really see the price action inside of that would make me like that a little bit more. But I also don't know that I see the price action that makes me think we drop another 900 points. So it's like, which is essentially where we're at. Like, there's not a lot here besides 29085s. Anybody seen anything different? Yeah, that gold, like that first drop there, like 47.36s down to like 47.16s, whatever, in 2 minutes, like right off the open, the 9:30 open there. We're just staying contained inside that, so I don't really know that I want to do anything with it. I've been keeping an eye on it. I was really hoping we'd get a pullback first thing on the weekend there to go get those lower levels that I put in the Sunday stock talk. That would have been much preferred. I mean, it kind of looks like NASDAQ wants to go make new lows again. But if we don't, and the Russell divergence is it, then NASDAQ rips back about 100 points. Bad weather. Apple getting some love again. Google trying to get a little pop again now. This action is erratic. I love about my riches. My name should be Richard. Yeah, I like the Google Weekly. What's up, Derivator? Get a new watch. Still got the vision like a line between two dots. Nasdaq trying to get a little push there. Russell. Nasdaq is like right here. Those lows are 946s. We just traded 955s. Russell, however, is trying to maybe hold slightly. I don't know that that means anything at the moment, but Nasdaq traded 953s there. Apple actually sold off a bit. Certainly Nasdaq doesn't just like front run a new low by 7 or 8 points and then rally back, right? It's kind of what it's looking like. Google making this push now. This contract's just pushed over $1. The 710 QQQ calls for today is a massive move. If we can do it, it takes us back to 482s on NASDAQ here. So it's 13 points, give or take, on QQQ. It's a really nice move here in NASDAQ, about 500 and some change. Russell's trying to hold here now and get back above the level. It's 1019. We're trying to hold this in the QQQ. That's the thing in which I'm watching. They're like right at 10, 11 cents. I'm gonna grab a handful of them Full lotto position here, obviously. Just looking to see if we can't make a bottom in this and see if it wants to run and rally all the way back, basically being the idea behind it. I like that Russell turn. So again, target's basically that overnight high up there, 480s. Right at 500 points, I guess it is. I'll move back to opening print, which isn't technically too far away. That's what, 250 points? Unless my math is like completely off, which I don't think it is. They seem to be too cheap. We opened the day on these at like $1.85. So if we do manage to rally back 250 points here for the NASDAQ, which we did in the first, we sold off that much in the first like 15 minutes, then I would think these calls probably go back to like $1.50 at that point. And then if we can make the move up to 7/16s, they go to like $6 or $7. So, excuse me. I think it's about as good a spot as any here if this is gonna turn and kind of do the idea that I have in my head. It is a long shot, as they say. Long and strong. In a picture perfect world, I think it is maybe possible. This is a big if. I think it's maybe possible if we can do the thing today and get back to like 480s. That we potentially see 30,059s again this week and maybe try and press back towards a reversal on last week's weekly bar. It would mean that we have to put in a massive bottoming tail here on the day, close green, do the whole thing, right? But I don't think it's impossible. NASDAQ just leaves a topping tail here on the 5 and gets smoked to the downside, and then we'll have our answer for lower, but we shall see. Russell did look good there for all of about 22 seconds. We did get a decent little like 60-point pop there out of NASDAQ. Starting to fade some of that back though, unfortunately here. We started off strong. And now we're coming back. It's going to be the tough piece though on today. If we just end up staying super weak, we never go back to test that 29.085s and just push lower essentially all day, it could get rather ugly. I'm trying to take the position that it doesn't get ugly, but market's not really trying to help us too much with that here. You gotta get back up through this 29.033s. What's up, Osborne? Saw your post, you're adding to a little bit of IBIT there. I need money like Osborne. He's buying 2 shares of MU every week on a Monday morning. Let me get a small loan of $1 million. NASDAQ pulled back there some and now getting a little bit of rally back again. Let's send wire info. My man. See if we can't get this NASDAQ to push back up into 29,085s. I kind of thought that would happen by now. I think when I put that Q position on about 10 minutes ago was it in 10 minutes. So now we would be up over that 29,085s. These Google options have basically been in a range between 50 cents and 90 cents about 82 times so far this morning. I still got them on watch, but I went with the Qs instead. Anybody long Qs or NASDAQ with me? Got a little ways to go yet, but I'm thinking that we'll, whoa. I know you was going to be making all that noise. Long NQ, nice. Wait until we get above. Yeah, I know. I'm in the same boat. I thought we had it. That initial little pop there at 10:20. I thought the next 10 minutes we'd get up through there, but I don't mind it. Again, there is a little level here in the QQQ. Right in there at 703s. So that's essentially the same. It's the same level, just slightly different based on rolls and things like that. So I'm kind of watching both of them together today. Let's see if we can't make this move. Traded 081.50s there. Do I watch the Qs every day? No, I noticed yesterday when I started looking through just the Sunday stock talk when I did the normal analysis for that. I looked at SPY and Qs. They'll be like typically they'll be close within like it just depends like where that level comes from like during a roll time. But typically they'll be close within like 15 to 30-ish points on on like NASDAQ specifically, right? In this case, they're like 100 points away. I thought 29,085s would hold personally. Like I really didn't anticipate that we would see. I thought that first 10-minute move down. I thought we were going to hold from here. And I mean, that's why I put it in the plan last night too. Is like I want something like Tesla from this 29,085 level. I couldn't quite get behind Google this morning, which is fine because it's 65 cents here. It's just continuing to stay like right in and around this area. But yeah, I like that little 2-minute flip down there off the level in the Qs, and we're gonna look to see if we can't make it kind of get the full flip here and see if it'll make that move. This is that area though where NASDAQ can get rejected from 29,085s. We're literally just testing into it right now. Taking some patience here. I don't know. The idea being that like if we can hold obviously this area down here, we get up through 29,085s and we make the move, then those 710 calls, I mean, they should go from like 10 cents to like, $6 or $7. Which this was essentially my plan for today. I just didn't think we'd go through 29,085s. And if we fail, then I don't know. Empuje. Push. Push. By the way, we did get a new partnership with Funded Seat, and I like the daily ultra plan. They did change up a couple of the rules, and you can only have 2 accounts now. Um, it is a bit more of an expensive plan. I was just DMing with somebody about it. And it is end of day drawdown on the funded as opposed to a trailing with daily payouts. It's a little bit harder to pass the eval, but and a little bit more expensive. But that end of day on a daily account is kind of crazy, honestly. So yeah, I'll drop the link in there if you guys want to check them out if you haven't already. Code MLT. I'll probably do a video on this a little bit later because I saw a video from Jen Ketter talking about the end of day or the intraday trailing in daily payouts and like TPT obviously running their promotion at the moment and stuff like that. And then my buddy Zach followed up with it and essentially talking through like, yeah, there is the option if you want to go a flex route, whatever, it might be worth it, etc. So I do like them, and I'm going to be checking them out. The idea of getting the account passed, which obviously is going to take essentially a week, and then kind of sitting on that until there's like a really nice opportunity, and you can just hopefully capture 200, 300, 400 points on NASDAQ, even with micros, and you don't have to worry about an intraday trail on a funded for a daily payout. It's kind of nice. So I know a couple people were interested in them last week, but yeah, we reached out to them and we got coupon code MLT live. All right, NASDAQ pressed up a little bit through these 29,085s. We'll probably get a pullback here at some point. Unless this right here is the pullback. That low is 72s on pullback. That's like 30 points. These Google options are back at $1 for like the 88th time of the day. 60 cents to $1, 60 cents to $1. Here's a little pullback right now at a 29,085s. I think we're going to try and get a little bit deeper of a pullback here in NASDAQ first. I don't love that this is probably the short entry if we're going to go lower on the day. We traded up to 110s there, so about 40 points from here. If you think NASDAQ goes lower on the day, again, this would be that entry from a short perspective. I'm not thinking that at the moment. Google's still trying to push here a little bit. I want to add a futures position here, but I don't know that I'm fully in love with this just yet. I still think we can try and rally here. And this is the pullback to 29,085s. If it doesn't provide a futures entry here, I'm kind of okay with it, obviously, because we have the other position on, but like, I would also be open to that. Yeah, I got QQQ. Did I say that right? QQQ calls. That was more difficult than it should be. Yeah, 0 DTE. I went with the 710s. It was essentially like right at opening print. So it's not that crazy for us to get back there. I mean, it's, you know, what, 100 points from here, give or take, 120 points for NASDAQ. It's not crazy. Yeah, I mean, again, my thinking is that they maybe go to $6 here. Why always lotto options? Just because I didn't think I really had a futures entry down there. And the idea of picking these options up for like 10 cents and them going to $6, if my thought process is right, just kind of makes sense. It's like a 60-to-1 risk reward ratio, basically. To be fair, though, I am like 0 for 15 on my lotto options over the last like 3 weeks. So, but again, they're they're lotto sized, so it's appropriate risk for that. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is we're just not getting the follow through on moves. If we were, then obviously that's a different story. It would be totally different. Russell trying to hold there a little bit, maybe. That's not terrible. Stops down in there like 3006s. Nasdaq right back though at the 29085s. You think we rally the whole thing back? Let's trade at 81 quarters there. Yeah, MU I saw was a gap down this morning. Yeah, it did. It did indeed. Yeah, semis did get a little bit hurt. Tesla with a decent little rally back there too. I'm looking for an entry in the NASDAQ with some futures. It may be somewhere in and around here, or we might come down and kind of pop these 71s first. Either one I think is fine. Sweet. Securing some local honey. NASDAQ's probably going to try and come down and take out these little 71s over here and see what it can do from there. So I'm waiting for that. There's that little push. Now, see if we can turn and pivot back to the upside. This would also be the short entry here, to be fair. If you think we go lower and we get absolutely annihilated on the day, this would be your entry somewhere in and around here. Stops would be up over that 29,110 area, so about 40 points, give or take. I'm looking to take the opposite stance on that and assume that we don't get absolutely annihilated to the downside and that we can hold. But still pushing a little lower. Tesla not quite there yet either. Apple's holding strong. If you want to add a futures long position, it would essentially be somewhere right in here. Again, the contrary, the other side of this, the counter argument is that this is the short entry for the downside. I thought Shadow said I was right and that we were going to rally. What happened? What happened to that? I think you did. I think you did. As soon as you close your short. It's a little farther than I would have. Again, a little pop under 71s and then back up would have been the ideal. If that's what market was going to do. This, not so much. This looks a little bit more like a, we might want to reverse this 15-minute bar type of situation, and that low would be what, 29,001s. Another 45 points or so to go to the downside. We did kind of take out that little low right there for the Dow as well. So a little shimmy's in place. This 5 minute does kind of hold in here. 42s being that low, 59s being the high. If we could start to, if we could hold here and potentially start to kind of flip that, then there might be longs on the table there, but we're still kind of rejecting that 29.085s at the moment. So I kind of want to see us above that. Quick spike under and back above would have been the perfect case. We're losing some strength there in Apple. Nvidia is still weak. It's been weak for the last hour though. There's nothing to do with it now, unfortunately. Google's still holding. These contracts are back at like 75 cents. They just were at 65 cents. My QQQ calls are at 8 cents. So we are down 2 pennies on those. There's not a ton here. Like, let's call it what it is on that. There's not a ton here. Again, I wouldn't blame you for being short here off 29.085s. I also wouldn't blame you for having some long exposure from down there, 100 points lower, give or take. Google making a nice little push back. All I ever see is could be long, could be short in so many places. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Try being on this side when you're talking about it and looking for ideas and trades to give and take, and we don't have it. I mean, I got the calls. What are the ticks doing right now? Minus 202s, nothing crazy. If we can get back up through these 29,085s, I think NASDAQ has something to work with there. We did dip down to 42 quarters. Russell is maybe trying to step back up here a bit. Google is actually pushing through these highs now. Those contracts are $1.35. Kind of widened out the range a little bit there. 60, they went up to $1.40, down to 60 cents, back up to $1.30 now. There was money to be made there. Rather annoying, rather difficult. I'm happy to technically have avoided it, just because I think I would probably still be trying to hold on to this considering the trend there. NASDAQ maybe still going to fail this 29,085s. So I don't know. Part of me is over it. I reported a page on Facebook Facebook's like, we didn't take it down, and we know that might be not what you wanted, but you can click the button below and see options. I click the button below to see options of what I can do. The only thing I can do is delete the message of them telling me that they're not taking the page down. Like, what? Basically, fuck off. That's what they said. Fair enough. That's crazy. All right, 11:17 here. Um, I'm gonna give this till 11:30, a couple minutes after 11:30. See what we're doing then. Otherwise, here I just don't know that. I just don't know that there's a ton to do. I'd love to see a nice 200-point rally here, get us back to opening print. We technically did open above that 233s as well. I think we did the same thing in the S&Ps, or we opened right at it. Yeah, we opened right at 81.75s. Yeah, I mean, in reality, I'd like a 400-point rally to go get to, 480s. I mean, I'm cool with that too. It's a nice little shimmy there in NASDAQ, maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Traded down to 38s there. Yeah, I think we're going to try and rally again. I've been waiting and waiting patiently. That looks to be about as good as we're going to get, though. Those lows there were 42 quarters. We just traded 38.75s on that little push there. If we can get back up through 29.085s, I think we'll be fine to continue this rally. I'm still just going to stick with my QQQ calls, which are currently trading right at 10 cents. Man, we had a really nice day yesterday. Ended up doing meal prep like first thing on Sunday morning. Got all of literally everything knocked out. Had myself a nice burrito this morning. Now I'm thinking like about lunch. Oh, I looked at Meta for a second and saw the 55s and thought that Google had ripped to 355s. I was about to say, what? Those contracts are now $1.62 for Google. So if you've been playing Google today, it's actually working out fairly well, just annoying. I'm not really hungry yet, but I'm like starting to get there maybe. I told you long ago. I got what you waiting for. What the heck? Whoa. What just happened there? Trade 137s. Can we go take that back out? What is happening? What is happening? Market getting a little bit of love there. Traded 137s. See if NASDAQ can't get continuation up through 137s, that little high there just now. 11:30, nice little push right into that 11:30 time frame. Market's moving here. I don't know if there's some type of news coming out or things like that. What do we trade there? 136s. Let's go, market. You got this. Those Google options just spiked up to $2 there. Green Dilly has arrived. What do those do? Yeah, options traded up to like quarter there. Not bad. Need to see him make a bigger move though. Nice rally back in the Dow there too. At the moment, the only thing I really care about is NASDAQ, but if the rest of the markets are there and want to, kind of participate, obviously, then totally okay with that. I told you long ago. 139's traded there. I set an alert, but it doesn't look like it went off. It didn't go off. There it goes. There it goes. The 110 call or 710 call, sorry, currently trading for 24 cents at the moment. See if we can't get another 100-point press out of the NASDAQ here. Kind of get these things maybe up closer to $1. $11.36 here. Set the order, cancel order, left for the gym. See it stop me. What'd you have? I don't know. I don't think we get scammed to new lows. I don't think that market, I think the bottom's probably in. I don't fully trust the S&P and Russell here. But I do like the NASDAQ. I'm pretty sure he said something very similar to that. My like chest hurts right here, like where the like right in the outside of the boobie. Almost like in the armpit. In case anybody was wondering what I'm over here doing. It looks like I'm playing with myself. You got a rib out of place? Oh yeah, that's not fun. That's no fun at all. You can do an upper body day with a rib out of place? I feel like you should go hit a chiropractor and either that or go walk through the hood and see if see if someone will give you a little shot to the ribs. I think I like pulled it a little bit. I don't really even know what I did. It's just like tender. Oh, I might go get in the cold tank. See if that helps. Oh. All right, NASDAQ. Let's do your thing. I'll put an order at 99 cents. I'm going to look to take a little bit of profits on these 710 calls in the event that we can get up there. See if we can give us that at least. And then from there, I'm not really too sure. See where it wants to go. I mean, if we can make it all the way to targets. Let's go, NASDAQ. You can do it. All right, 11:44 here. I like to see NASDAQ at least get back up to this opening print here and be able to go ahead and, like I said, I got some orders up there to go ahead and take some off. A high a day up here is 29,243s. I'm going to go ahead and just set an alert for 243 quarters for new highs on that. See if it wants to go grab that. Oh, my titty hurts. Those contracts are 53 cents now. $500. Well, almost 490%. S&P's just traded 81.50 is there. That level in place is going to be 81.75. It's one tick front run. We are getting some weakness here in gold. There was a level just above here, 47.41s. We never quite got to it. I think we might see that pullback in gold over the next day or two, see if we can't get down. It's not terribly, I guess it's 110 points, 45.95, 46.37-ish area, what I wrote out in the Sunday stock talk. NASDAQ here traded 205s, a little 20-point pullback, nothing crazy, but catching a little bit of sell-in as S&Ps traded up close to that 81.75s. I'm still going to stand by my original kind of thoughts and thinking here with this. We got a total range on the day, 295 points out of the NASDAQ. And we've got a pretty decent move. Like we bought this somewhere right down in here when NASDAQ was trading like right around 28,975s. So we technically have about 210 points, give or take, in NASDAQ via QQQ. So we're almost halfway there for what we were kind of looking for on a bigger picture move. I don't think that's honestly all that bad, considering what market's currently doing and all that. So yeah, I kind of like that. My ditty hurts. I haven't heard anything about him in a while. Trial happened. Nothing coming out of the Diddy camp for a minute, though. No idea what he's doing, not doing, none of that. It's unfortunate for him. Or fortunate, I guess, depends on how you want to look at it. Top of the morning to you. Oh, you also know why it might be a little sore? I don't know if that would play into it or not. I did get a little sunburned the other day at the beach on Friday. Surely that wouldn't impact like the muscle though. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I did some work down in the woods though on Saturday, so that's probably it, honestly. I was doing a lot of raking, the hard rake. So that motion probably did it, honestly. That's crazy. I did not do that, no. Uh, I don't think that that would have been appropriate on the beach. I didn't get that vibe, at least from the crowd, you know what I'm saying? Selling mentorship programs for 40 grand. Yikes. That's a little much. That's a little much. I mean, I could see five. Five, I think, is five. I think is still okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not crazy. Yeah. See, there you go. I mean, you can pay the difference if you really want to. I won't stop you. But yeah, no, I think somewhere between 2 and 5K is a fair price. I mean, you can make an argument that people pay $250,000 for college. Like, I mean, I know people that are well into the six figures in debt from college, like still paying on it. Yeah, I've never heard of that guy. I don't know when we're getting it. Ideally here soon. I was looking to see if we couldn't get those 99-cent, the first exit that I had up there. I was looking to see if we couldn't get those off before I left. I was trying to leave shortly after 11:30, which we're still basically there. S&P is just traded 83.50s there, which puts us at new highs. And at the moment, it's the only market getting new highs. That's unfortunate. I think we're still fine, but no, not exactly what I wanted to see either, but I think it's still fine. I'm not really too concerned by it because we are getting the Dow now to participate a little bit. That pullback in the Dow was a little further than I would have expected to see there. Basically right back down to those 390s, which kind of does make some sense though at the same time. Oh, you got 7-Eleven calls? When did you get them? You took them after me? Okay. What's your entry? These 710s traded all the way back down to 9 cents there a minute ago. Oh, 8 cents. Okay. Well, they should be like 35 cents or so right now, right? They shouldn't be too bad. What's this high up here? 205.50s. Yeah, I got that new little low. I'm bouncing now in gold. I still kind of think it goes a deeper pullback. I will have to get ready to go in a couple minutes, but Nasdaq not quite making it. Do I still offer the mentorships? Yeah, so you can still get it. It's all of the previous recordings now, broken up into each section and all that. It's to some degree without the live element, just because I'm not doing it live anymore. It's actually better because now you've got whatever it was, 120 days worth of morning write-ups and reviews from essentially every single class, across like 3 years worth of mentorships to go through and see like different market conditions. This is what I wrote this day. Here's what happened, why. Here's what didn't happen, why, etc. So yeah, I think it's actually, excluding the live element piece of it, I think it's actually more valuable now than it was previously. And obviously everybody that took it before has access to that too. So if you took mentorship 3 or mentorship 6, whatever, you have all those. But yeah, if you know somebody that is interested, for sure. Oh man, this little Mexican taco truck is not open today. Even though I just talked about doing all of our meal preps. I saw a picture of their food and it's like, ah. Yeah, outside of the club. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I think we look fine. It's just going to be a slow grind to go get this, most likely. We did just get new highs in S&Ps and in the Dow, and unfortunately did not do so in the NASDAQ or the Russell. The Russell looks fairly weak overall here, but I do like where NASDAQ's at. I think we've done the things that we were supposed to do today and like held those. So more specifically, so in like the Qs, that 703.26 holding pretty nicely. NASDAQ here, we rejected 29,085s and then managed to get up through it. So yeah, I mean, I kind of like where this is at. I'm not going to be too concerned by it, I don't think, at the moment. It doesn't make sense. These contracts are trading at like 30 cents. Yeah, I guess that's, you know, we picked them up around 10 cents. We did trade up to like 64 cents. But yeah, I think we are fine there. It doesn't make sense to take them off early, considering the potential for that move. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go ahead and go have some lunch and try and stretch out my boob. I don't know why it's hurting so bad. But yeah, and just get away from the desk. We caught a nice move so far. I wish I would have taken it with futures, but I was trying to be patient and wait for over 29,085. There was this little 2-minute entry right in through here. After this little kind of shimmy right there, 29,060s give or take, and we started pushing back up through, and we took out this 42s. There was a little entry right in here. We had pulled back a little kind of like 2-minute 1, 2, 3 type of thing. We traded 8150s right through there. So there was technically something there to work with if you really wanted it. But I'm kind of going to let this QQQ position do the work for me, I think, on the day. And again, looking to see if that can't make that move. So I wouldn't be too surprised if, and again, there's still a lot left here that has to form. I'm not going to be too surprised if we end up getting up through this 233 opening print area, and then we just get absolutely, you know, green dilly to the upside and go get those 482.50s. So that overnight high is 480.50s, and we essentially traded right, like basically to it on Fridays. Friday. Yeah, right in through here, 1152. So whatever that ends up being, it's a little bit of a front run, I think, in QQQ. Let's see. Oh no, it's there. 715 to 14. I didn't have the level updated, I guess. Oh, interesting. The levels are just slightly off between that and interesting. Okay, so 715-ish. Still basically where we were thinking. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We'll let NASDAQ kind of do its thing here. If we can pop up through these 205s here, I think we'll be pretty good. Get up through those opening prints. And then, yeah, see if this thing wants to run and do its thing. So anyways, that's what I got. That will make for a really nice Monday if we can get that move. 10 cents to $5, I will take it. And that will make up for all of the the lottos that I've taken recently that haven't worked, and obviously then some by a big way. So totally cool with that. And yeah, just gonna let it do its thing. So time to go eat. And yeah, I'll catch you guys a little bit later. If you have not yet, check out Funded Seat. They're a new partner. Kind of a blend of both the idea behind daily accounts and end of day drawdowns, which I think is a really nice thing. So a little bit more expensive on the front end, but pretty solid it seems like to me so far. Excuse me. But yeah, y'all have a good day. I will be back tomorrow. And yeah, cheer NASDAQ on for 29,482.50s. So appreciate you guys. Code MLT at all your favorite prop firms. As always, appreciate the love and support. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.